Alright. Hey everybody, it's Sci-Fi Fan. Welcome to the stream today. Today it's gonna just be a quick little 10 or 15 minute video that I'm making here for my YouTube channel. We're gonna be exploring some more aspects of Starborn, which is a new game that's in beta right now. It's a game that basically it takes civilization and puts it in space. So it's kind of a mix between Civilization, Eve, and I would say a couple of other games rolled into one. The gist of it is the games go for about 70 days. You're playing on a server with around 2,000 to 3,000 other people, and the goal is that at the end of the 70 days, you will either be a winner or a loser. You'll be in maybe an alliance or something like that, and you're looking to take control of certain points of the board of space here. And you're looking at trying to take control of some points that are closer here to the middle area of the board. All around here, this little green area, this is the starting area for everybody. All these little dots here are either NPCs or actual players, and the goal is to slowly make our way inwards and take some different capture points around the central area here before eventually going to war with each other over the central area of the board. This is where I'm at right now. I'm the Galactic Trade Corporation is my empire's name. I've made my own alliance. As you can see, I was one of the people who started way back in this little area over here. I'm slowly gaining some more influence over the surrounding area, and I have even built my first excuse me, mining facility. So for today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be spinning some of these resources here that I've collected over the last few hours. It looks like I have 11.6 thousand metal, I have around 7,000 gas, and around 9,000 crystals. And I'm going to be using those resources to make some more assets for my empire, including ships, buildings, and other things like that. So first I'm going to go in here, I'm going to claim all these daily rewards. With these rewards you can get credits to buy cards, and what cards are basically modifiers, and so you can either buy, build, or find cards through missions or microtransactions or other things. And basically with those cards you can use them to modify different aspects of your empire. So like I'll show you real quick here. So I have my station down here, the GTC hub. So I'm going to go to my build menu, cards, and so these are my currently active modifier cards. So I'll just show you here. So I have automated workers for the next 24 hours. And what that does is it provides an additional 100 labor for this station. You need labor in order to basically make ships, buildings, and other things like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fill up my build queue. The interesting thing about this game is everything takes place in real time, and so the higher level your buildings that you make, the longer it's going to take you to build those buildings. So I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade. Ooh, well, that's going to be awfully costly here for me to do that. How much? Okay, so I have 9,000, 7,000. Okay, so I can do that. So I need to really work on upgrading my gas and crystal production. I'm doing really well on metal production, but not doing that great on gas. So I'm just going to upgrade these. And as you can see, that adds to my build queue over here on the right hand side of my screen. And this building is going to take 2 hours and 48 minutes of real time to complete, and this building is going to take an hour. So it's going to take around 4 hours and 17 minutes to finish that build queue. And so when you're playing this game, you don't actually have to play it for very long. You just have to log in a couple times a day, basically, and then just to fill up your build queue, move some ships around, move some fleets around, and then you can log off for a few hours while you wait for things to be completed. So one of the things you want to do right off the bat here when you're playing this game is you want to be constantly raiding the NPC pirate camps that are around you. So we're just going to do that today. And so when you're raiding things like NPC pirates, you want to take almost all your ships and go do it. Like, these are your attack ships right here, the corvettes, when you're starting out, and then you have patrol ships, and both can be used to attack and defend. But they have very limited cargo space, and when you attack these stations, you don't want to destroy them completely. You actually just want to raid the stations. And so if you use more ships with greater amount of cargo space, you can then raid and get more loot from those stations. And these stations will give me crystals and gas and metals and things like that. So something that I want to do here real quick, though, is I want to send a scout to my son here. Only exploration fleets are requires at least one exploration fleet. I feel like I have an exploration fleet. There we go. Alright, so I'm sending a scout to my sun because during gameplay there's a chance for suns to have sun flares like every 2 to 3 hours. And those sun flares produce more resources, and so if you catch a sun doing during a sun flare, you can send your builder fleets or your industrial ships to those sun areas or those sun spots to collect resources to kind of help and grow your empire. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here. Looks like I have 8 infrastructure points. You need infrastructure points to build more space stations to get more territory, and you need 10 infrastructure points to do that. So it looks like I'm only 2 infrastructure points away. Infrastructure points are based off of influence, and influence is based off of, I believe, upgrading your space station. So it looks like I am really close to having a level 2 space station. It says I have 23 out of 20 influence, so I should be able to, upgrade my station. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now I have a level 2 space station, so I should have access, to tier 2 facilities. And I really want to focus on getting a heavy ship building facility. That way I can create bigger, faster, better, more heavily armed warships and exploration ships and industrial ships to help grow my empire right off the bat here. So in order to do that, I need 5 military buildings. So I have 2 military buildings so far. So with this tier 2 stuff, I'm going to get a military hangar here. The queue is full. Okay. So apparently I can't upgrade that yet because I guess my build queue is full. And so with that build queue, I guess it only goes to about 4 hours. Is how long you can get buildings for free, or you can do the build queue for free. I think there might be a card or something to extend that build queue, but I'm not exactly sure on that. So I am level 2 though, so that's good. My influence is growing. I'm going to go ahead and claim these other rewards for getting that increased fleet cap. So as you upgrade your stations here, you can get more and more fleets, which is good because once you have more and more fleets, you can have a little bit more options to send a fleet here or there to either attack an NPC pirate facility to get in resources, or to scan an asteroid belt for missions. And missions are how you get valuable resources to build more stations and more facilities. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to start this event. It's a 2-hour long event, so, or a 7-hour long event, so I don't really have to do anything then for that for 7 hours. I'm going to go ahead and claim some of these progress cards. Whoops. And open this catch here. So so I got some diamond nanorods, which is good for upgrading outpost. So I'm going to go back to my regular screen here, and what I want to do is I want to upgrade this this facility here. So I'm going to go modify it, outpost, and I'm going to send an I'm going to upgrade it, because if I upgrade it, a level 2 mining facility will harvest 100% of metal, gas, crystal, and labor from resource fields within its radius. And I believe the radius for a mining facility, a level 1 mining facility, is I think 1 hex. And so since I set it here, I'm getting resources from this hex, and this hex, which is really good because I have metal, gas, and crystals both going to my facility here. Once you go a little bit further into the inner portions of the map here, I'll just zoom out so you can see this. So once you go into these arms, there's actually greater amounts of resources available. So as you can see, as I zoom in, you get more dense resource fields. And so for your second station, from the tutorials that I've seen and the things I've read so far about this game, for your second station you want to build it somewhere within these arms, but of course I'm way the heck over here and I only have 8 infrastructure points, so I won't be able to build another station until I have 2 infrastructure points. So I'm hoping by the end of the day today, maybe a few hours from now, I'll have enough points to actually build another station there. So I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade my station so I get 100% of the resources from it. Modify. What happens if I augment this? Augmenting this outpost will give 0.1 mining facility harvest rate. Okay, so that just speeds up the rate. I don't really care about that. I want to get this first. Alright, so I'm going to send that to upgrade the outpost. So that's going to take 20 minutes to upgrade the outpost. And then in the meantime, I'm going to send both of these fleets, my attack fleet and my defense fleet, I'm going to send those to the nearest NPC pirate base to attack them and raid their base. And then raiding their base will actually bring me more resources. They're basically a defenseless base. They don't put up much of a fight. I think I've only lost maybe 1 or 2 ships every 3 raids or something along those measures. And that was when I only had like 10 to 15 ships in a fleet. Now that I have 45 ships in a fleet, they really don't stand any chance. So I'm basically just waiting until I get enough resources, and then I can build a heavy ship, like a heavy assault ship, and then I can actually take over stations. Now let's go check on my neighbors here. So these guys over here, these are actual real players in real life, and I'm just checking to see what their influences are here. The higher the influence, the greater amount of playtime usually, and so right off the bat, once you start gaining influence, you start going up in levels. And eventually what I want to do is, if you look on there, you can see sort of, here, let me see if I can zoom in on here. So there, in red you can see 5D, 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 4 seconds. So that means that that person has protection for 5 days, 2 hours, and 30 minutes. At the start of the game, every player, real life player, has like about 7 days of protection. So there's a period in that amount of time where you can't attack anybody. You can only move your own fleets around. You can do basically everything else, but you can't attack other people, which is one of the main points of the game, is to take territory, and the only way you're going to take territory is by attacking other players, other empires, and banding together with other players to take on other alliances and things like that. And so these guys, it looks like this person has 0 influence, and they haven't even changed the name of their station yet, and that's one of the first things you're supposed to do for the tutorial. So that person probably isn't playing, and so he's going to be easy prey to me then. When his protection expires, hopefully by then I'll have heavy ships, and my goal is to eventually take this entire area for my own empire. I haven't really looked at joining any other alliances yet. I have sent out a few feelers, some messages to some surrounding guys. There's a person over here, yeah. So this guy, his influence is 84. I think I sent him a message the other day, and I was just like, hey, how's it going? Looks like we're in the same neighborhood. You know, I wasn't really saying, hey, we should totally join forces or anything like that. It was just kind of establishing that relationship in case in the future we can join forces. You know, I think for players like me and him who are sort of around the same influence level, which is like under 100. Some of the smaller empires we're still playing, but we might not be experts at the game yet. I think we're going to be pretty weary of attacking each other. We're going to spend most of the beginning amount of time here, probably the next few weeks after the protection period expires, we'll spend attacking players who aren't playing, like this NPC player over here, or this person over here who only has an influence of 4, right? He's not playing a whole lot, so he's going to be really easy prey to attack. As you can see, since my influence is 23 and I upgraded my space station a little while ago, I went from having 5 hexes to having more than that, probably 10 hexes. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 hexes, or 15 hexes. I might have miscounted there. And so as your influence expands, you get more hexes and you get more territory. Your influence is not based on military strength, though, which that's interesting because you can't necessarily... Why am I getting all these notifications right now? I have no idea. And so your influence isn't based on your military capability. It's more based off of your buildings and your upgraded buildings. And so I guess, you know, theoretically, this guy over here, he could have an influence of 4, but he could have a military that's way, way stronger than me. I doubt it. In fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to send a spy over to his base. And let's see here. So, yeah, so my spies had a total scan strength of 30 plus 8 roll equals 38 against a spy defense rating of 10. Our spying operation remained undetected. As you upgrade your buildings for your initial station, your defense against spying becomes better, and so you could potentially detect if other people are spying on you. So it looks like for station resources, yeah, he doesn't really have a whole lot of resources. It looks like he did upgrade his metal refinery a little bit and his gas station refinery, but his fleet's down here. He only has 20 corvettes, 8 industrials, 5 scouts, and 5 scouts. So he has like nothing for defense. Now, I guess he does have 8 more corvettes like stashed away in his hangar, but that's not nearly what you would need to defend against an attack from a larger player, such as myself. Not saying I'm going to attack him right away, but if he doesn't start playing here, and if it looks like he's going to be easy prey for me, once that protection period expires, I will probably go after some of his resources. Alright, what else do I need to do here? So I guess in the meantime, what I can do is I can send my scouts. I'm just gonna change the map to exploration. So with the exploration map, you can see these sort of yellow regions. These yellow regions are areas where missions are hidden, and so in order to uncover a mission, you need to send scout fleets to these areas, and then you'll get something like this that pops up, like a little 1, and like that little 1 signifies that there's 1 mission there. And so if you hit the explore button, you can view the mission. So it's a steel mission catch, and so you need steel in order to create stations and outposts and things of that nature. And so this mission will require at least 1 assault fleet, 1 escort fleet, and requires 2,000 firepower. And so that would probably require both my defense fleet and my attack fleet all in one, and then I would get a steel mission catch, which means I would get 3 steel from doing that mission. Missions expire after a little while, so like my probe in this sector will only last for another 34 minutes, and after that 34 minutes is done with, I would need to send another scout to that area to uncover that same mission again, so then I could take advantage of it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send out a scan here of that area, and then I'm going to send out a scan of this area. Alright, so all my fleets are scanning now. I wonder for my shipyard here. Alright. I kind of want to create more corvettes and more industrial fleets. I might do that here. So I'm going to create 10 more corvettes, and I'm going to create 10 more industrial fleet. Alright, so now that that's done, that's going to take about 3 hours and 25 minutes. I've produced 5 scouts. I've claimed all of my tutorial prizes for the day, my login, achievements, and all of that, those things. Policies, it looks like I can adapt another policy, and so you can change factions. The factions don't really have anything to do with who you're aligned with, and as far as real life players go. It's more of like just choosing a race or a species of people, and depending on what species you choose, you get unique ships. You also get unique augmentations to some of your abilities, including resource management, extraction, military might, that sort of thing. And so I chose the Terran Combine, which was an Earth agency tasked with mapping the frontier for colonization. They get these cool industrial ships which have extra cargo, and I automatically usually go for increasing my mining capability before increasing my military might in games like this, and so I just thought that would be a good choice for my playstyle. So I'm going to go ahead and change policies here, and so these policies are my current active cards for my species. And so as you can see, I kind of focused on in my industrial capabilities along with heavy metals. And then I have an army first thing here. So plus 6% plasma cargo for industrial fleet. So I'm going to go ahead and add that there. Confirmed it's going to be a lot for 20 hours. That's okay. And then I'm going to upgrade that policy as well. Complete research for that. So where is the plasma? There it is. So this is the card that I just used. So I'm going to go ahead and increase that. So after the 4-hour mark, my research will increase from 6% plasma cargo for industrial fleets to 7% plasma cargo. Plasma cargo is a fancy name that they've given. If you remember earlier on in the stream, I was talking a little bit about how you can find not sunspots, but what are they called? Like sunstorms? No. Oh gosh. I'm drawing a blank at it right now. Basically, things happen around suns, like sunburst. I think that's what it is, sunburst. And those create chances for you to get more resources, but you have to have a scanner in the area, and then you have to have an industrial fleet with plasma cargo capability. So by upgrading this card, I'm essentially just giving my industrial fleets better capability to hold plasma to get more resources from those sunstorms. And so if you remember earlier, I sent a scanner here to the sun to see if there's any sunspots going on. That will be there, I think, for a little while longer. I think those, let's see. So it's going to take 35 minutes to get there, and then it'll leave a probe there for, I think it's 24 hours. And so in that 24-hour time frame, if there's a sunstorm with resources, I'll get a notification, and then I can send my industrial fleet, which I'm getting more ships for. I can send my industrial fleet to that area to get those resources, and I think those resources you can have up to like 4,000 of each resource per storm. And so eventually, if you upgrade your industrial fleets large enough with a greater capability, you can suck all of those resources up and keep them to help expand your empire. So it looks like all my fleets right now are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'm raiding this pirate station over here for more resources. I'm building more corvettes, attack fleets. I'm upgrading my crystal refinery and my gas refinery to pump those numbers up. Gotta pump those numbers up. And I'm still waiting on my 2 infrastructure points so I can create another space station. So at this point, there's not a whole lot more that I can do right now for the next few hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and log off. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Make sure you stick around for more videos in the future. I'll try to update my channel probably every few days with updates on this game, Starborn. Make sure to follow me at my Mixer channel, Sci-Fi Fan. where I also stream games, other games aside from this one, including X4 Foundations, another awesome space game, and then of course Apex Legends, because you have to have a battle royale thrown in there somewhere for good measure. Okay, well thanks a lot, and y'all have a great rest of your day.